Django, Django, Django.
Hey yo, episode 13, Enter the Lab, Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man?
You were on mute, so I was afraid you were going to turn it back on. What do you do, baby?
Trying to fix it, yeah. Shit, just like always, man, just kicking it another week. Some big moves I got planned in the next few days, next few weeks. So looking forward to that. Just keeping it on DL right now. Only a few people know. Just wait until things are official, So
Yeah, you don't want to be that person that says a
nah,
bunch of things, puts it in group chats, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, weren't you doing X, Y, and Z? And it's like, nah, that fell through. Like, there's a couple of people I know that like they're always doing something, but they're never doing anything, if you know what I mean.
yeah. I hate being that person, man. I always try to wait till like the last minute to make sure everything is good. Then I, let it all out to the people I care about and stuff like that, because it's never good being that person. No one wants to be that dude. Like,
For real.
that's just a shitty feeling. Because not only do you let yourself down, you're also letting other people down, and
Yeah, because they'll be
I hate
rooting
that.
for you. They'll be rooting for you. They'll give you help. They'll give you advice, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, never mind. I'm not doing that. It's like we spent all that time game planning, but I'm excited for that. As far as if and when that happens, I'll be cool to talk about another step in your life. But on this episode, obviously we have MLB is not dead. It's alive, kinda, sorta.
Let's go.
MLB
Huge
hot
news for my
stove.
dad.
This is the only time where baseball probably gets talked about, then opening day, and then nobody mentions it till about All-Star break,
All-Star,
when either trades happen again or home run derby. But there's some action going on in the last 48 hours with that. Football today was the open season, basically, for free agents and movement. A lot of exciting signings and releases and potential trades going down. And then obviously the little things with basketball. Kyrie still can't play, and we got an evolving beef with Kanye West and Pete Davidson. What did you want to leave off with first? Obviously with football, we got DESHAUN Watson, we got Brady coming back. We got the free agent signings. What did you want to kind of flow with first, and then we'll just freestyle the rest?
I'd probably say, start with the quarterbacks, man. That's really been the biggest topic in news, and at the end of the day, they both QBs. So, that seems to, man, I'm so sick of Brady, bro. So sick of this guy. Like,
How much did that guy buy the last football for?
like
500K?
512K. Yeah, dude, I'd be so
It just
mad.
happened too. He announced
Yeah,
that he was coming back on a Sunday, right? And he just bought it on Saturday.
yeah.
That
I'd
sucks.
be upset.
Hopefully he saved his receipt, or he didn't, the wire didn't go through. He could call his banker real quick, or maybe Tom Brady would be a dude and, hopefully take care of some of that.
Probably, yeah. That's a terrible investment. That's like when you buy the dip and it keeps dipping.
and you keep buying like an idiot, like I have for the last year. I'm like, please, end the war in Russia, end the pandemic, please help my bank account. But yeah, talk about Brady real quick. As far as obviously we thought he was done, then he came back. Most people felt like he was going to come back.
I definitely thought he was done. I mean, he's at the point in his career and his life where he's, as far as football goes, he's literally accomplished everything that you can as a player. And I don't know, man. He just comes back and says unfinished business. Like, bro, what unfinished business do you have? Like, you literally did everything. Like,
that was like a stunt, like a low key flex on people.
Yeah.
Like normally people say that when they go to one Super Bowl and lose, but you know what I mean?
It's like, dude, like, I get it. You don't want to go out on an L, and that was a bad L that they took. But it's like, if you don't want to go on an L, then you should just left the season before after you won. That would have been like perfect timing to go out. But I guess he just was at home with Giselle and his kids, and he was like, "Bro, I can't do this. I need to go play football again." So I don't know what goes on through that dude's head. Like, he's what, 44, 43, 44, and he still wants to play. I mean, I hope at that age I want to do something as much as anything as much as he wants to play football. So I guess give him props on that end, but I don't know what else he has to play for. Like, there's nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah, he said he wanted to play till 45. I think he got a little. I think there's never been a time where he flirted with retirement, and obviously he did. This is the quickest. I've never seen somebody do it other than like Brett Favre, where he kind of went back every single year. But even he left it out for months at a time, and then would come back right before camp, and then he would be unretired. Brady wasted no time. Maybe he got a little, get a little FOMO, you do a little traveling. He obviously the video with Ronaldo went viral where, Ronaldo was like, "Hey, are you done?" or something like that to that effect. And he was like, "Yeah." And maybe he either had his decision made that day or he made that decision that day because obviously 48 hours later, there was a tweet sent by him that he was coming back. But we won't spend too much time on Brady because at the end of the day, we know what he's capable of. We know what he's going to go do. It was about a 3-week retirement. So whatever.
Short-lived.
I like the gift that said or the meme that said fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. Yeah.
Stayed home a few weeks. He was like, I can't do this all 365 as he should or shouldn't. But the other thing that we talked about back with utility players, we spent many weeks on this where we had like a Deshaun Watson count was Deshaun Watson. It came out that they went in front of the grand jury or whatever, and whatever the legal terminology is doesn't matter because this show is we're not scientists and we're not attorneys, so we just bullshit the rest. But that they weren't going to press any legal charges, so he's not innocent. He's a free man, but he's not necessarily innocent because there could be things that come about. But in the eyes of the NFL, there's no criminal charges. So shit, if you don't get criminally charged, we could move on. We could kind of move on as a business. So I immediately teams started to draw interest. I think it's Carolina and
the Saints.
Yeah, Saints Carolina and the Saints. So what's your vibe on that as far as the verdict or non-verdict and then moving forward?
Man, it's kind of crazy to me with how that went because if he did it or not, we don't know. We don't know what really happened, but just the fact that as soon as they said that he wasn't going to get indicted, they immediately went and started talking about how, where's he going to go? What's going to happen with this? Where's he going to sign or get traded to? And they didn't really focus with the issue at hand, which is kind of messed up to me. You got to address these things that are
media don't care. Important. You're innocent.
Yeah.
Good. We could talk football,
Right. Like he's still facing his civil stuff. Like that stuff could, still materialize.
As a professional, who doesn't have a civil suit pending,
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of upset with how they handled that. Like they don't really care nowadays. So, which is why sometimes it's so hard for women to bring up these things that happen. But that's a different subject. I'm excited to see where he goes. I don't think he stays in Houston, but it's going to be fun to see where he's at because when he's at the top of his game, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league because he could do it all. I mean, that dude could throw the football as far as the length of the field. He could run. He makes plays happen. He's tough to tackle, tough to bring down. So any team that gets him is definitely going to be a contender to win the division. So I'm excited to see where he goes. I just got to see where, the playmakers around him, but he makes those plays happen. It's just, like I said, I was a little upset with how it was handled, but these days people don't care. They just want to get the story out right away. They don't care if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, when it first came out, people were up in arms, very emotional about it. He's horrible. I haven't seen on Twitter any of those people pop up again. I don't follow them, but you know how you run into retweets and comments and stuff like that. So I have not seen anybody really distraught over the fact that he was. It's weird, right? People act crazy on Twitter when somebody's not even guilty yet,
Always.
but just accused. And then when they're proven not guilty and also not innocent, those people still don't come around because, you know, they moved on to something else. Maybe they're talking about the war. Maybe they're talking about Kyrie, whatever. But it's, yeah, so it's over on the legal side. I don't want to talk about it again unless something crazy comes out. But the football side is what, you know, our sort of expertise is on. The Houston Texans already showed that they're not going to deal them in the division or probably in the conference. They're, you know, the Colts gave them a phone call and they hung up on them, basically. And then so it looks like he would go to the NFC, which Carolina and also the Saints are in. Obviously, I wish my New York Giants were in a better situation, not coming out of some murky, you know, with the players and the quarterback and the turnover, because I think we could have had a shot at him if things weren't different on our end. But excited to see him back. He's young. What is he, 25 years old?
Yeah, he's like 25, 26. He's
25, top 5 type quarterback. So I'm excited to see who he goes with. I will say if I had to pick between those two front runners of the Saints and the Panthers, unbiasedly, I'm just saying who I'd rather see him on. You want to see him on the Saints because when the Saints are good, you know, that crowd is rocking. But I also I think they're in good hands. I think they have a good foundation. I wouldn't mind him going to Carolina, bring that franchise up a little bit. But I guess as another native NFC person, you know, it would be tough because that's just another. Now that we got Brady back, we got Watson back in the NFC. So now all of a sudden the AFC was way here and the NFC was here. Now it got stepped up a little bit. So all in the span of what, 3 days, 4 days?
3 days, yeah, real quick. I wouldn't probably always 9 times out of 10 say the Saints. Just the fact that Sean Payton isn't there anymore. I'm not sure who their coach is. I haven't.
You're right. They got to restart that foundation.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that.
Unless they give up McCaffrey to get him, I would love to see him team up with Christian McCaffrey, CMC. That would be a heck of a freaking duo. Awesome. Yeah, that would. I mean, anybody would love to watch that, and that would be fun, especially with, you know, I think they still got DJ Moore. So that team definitely,
they got a solid defense.
Yeah, goes up just to watch, not even to root for. So
yeah, that's what I said unbiasedly. Like as a football fan, like if you're just a football fan, who would you want them to go to? It's like I would love to see those two go at it, you know, offensively, and then on their defense. That'd be fun. They automatically bump up. They go from being 3-15 or 3-14 to shit. They're right in the playoff contention, not winning division, but you know, wild card spot,
contending for it for sure.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's a needle mover, like he said last week. That you tune in to watch him play because that's just how he's been since college, since he was at Clemson, and it's fun to watch him play. He does things on the football field that not a lot of people do, and he was definitely missed last year, regardless of what he did or didn't do allegedly. So I'm excited to see him back, see what he brings. And even though he didn't get charged or he didn't get indicted or whatever, the NFL is always that league that will, just because they heard of you doing something, they might still suspend you. So
yeah, you got to look out for that. You never know.
Yeah. So,
but I think by sitting out a year, that was almost like unwritten suspension, where it's like he served his crime of not playing. Like he was healthy. It wasn't like he was battling injury and he was out. I think I haven't heard anybody say anything like that, which is good that you brought that up because that would be the next thing to look out for. But I think it's one of those things where it's like he's been out of the league for a year. You know, he's been under a lot of I think he's served his NFL professional career time, maybe not legally time because whatever. But hey, there's something to be said to losing money, losing endorsements, personal life being in shambles. You know, and like I said, we're not saying he's innocent yet, but at least hopefully it's a step in the right direction in his favor if, you know, things weren't as crazy as they were. But there's to finish off football, there was a lot of moves over the weekend, some cuts. over the last week or so. We got Christian Kirk. Man, for being a third option on the Cardinals
He got
for
paid.
the 2 or 3 years he was there, he got paid, right?
He got
For the
paid,
Jaguars.
Yeah.
Ingram, Evan Ingram of the tight end for the Giants, went to the Jaguars, got a decent amount of money. Trubisky, Pittsburgh, Landry got cut. They traded what's his name from Dallas, wide receiver.
They traded for Cooper, yeah, Amari.
Cooper.
They got Cooper for
that was a
bag of
weird
chips.
situation, no? That was like supposed to be a trade, like 1-for-1 or something, and then they cut him. What was that about?
I think they traded him for like a 5th-round pick this year and like a 6th-round pick next year. Or
But wasn't it before that? Before knowing that today, wasn't it assumed that they were trading one for another, or that was never in the cards? Maybe I was just.
You mean like
Cooper for Landry and then some other
Landry?
things going on?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear too much about that. Yeah, I know once they traded for Cooper, the Browns gave Juice permission to seek a trade, and then they just cut him.
Okay,
that's weird, man. I don't know.
Weird situation, right?
Yeah, and then you got Baker like up in air. They don't know what's going to happen with him. So it's the Browns, bro. Like,
yeah,
they're ass. Like they're going to do whatever they're going to do. So I'm excited about the AFC West, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, shout out Zoe. He wanted us to talk about the Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, big trades, big signings.
Big moves.
They already had a great foundation. So go ahead on that.
Yeah, they definitely had to ramp up that defense, which was already not bad. It wasn't a bad defense with Bosa.
You add a bad boy to that group right there.
Yeah, shit. And I mean Asante Samuel Jr. good DB, and then you had Khalil Mack, who hasn't had his best years with the Bears, but that's another franchise. Sorry, Ben, that is wishy-washy. So I mean, now you add Khalil Mack on there, and you got Bosa on the other side. That's Patrick Mahomes is not liking what he's seeing right now. I'm telling you that. So that defense is stacked. They had to. They had no other choice because all the other teams were making moves to better themselves. Broncos got Russ. So I'm excited to watch that division. Red Zone is going to be on fire this year.
Oh, right.
I'm already excited. And we're still not even at the draft.
Yeah, it's still not the draft where things could move. Rookies could really. This is when you get drafted and you show your stuff at camp and you bring it up another level. I'm excited. As a Giants fan, we've been rebuilding the last 5 years. We've done 4 rebuilds because we've had like 4 head coaches. So you got to get excited as a fan every single time because that could be the one. You don't want to be indifferent because this could be the one that really clicks for us. And then all of a sudden you don't want to not enjoy it for what it is. But also now I'm kind of getting rejuvenated with the NFL. I took about 10 years off, not really paying attention, watching games, but I use it as a social thing. People coming over, me going out. Yeah, I like the Giants. I'll watch a good game, make some bets, but now I'm like into it, listening to different shows, trying to get to know all the players, as much draft stuff. So it's an exciting time as an NFL fan for sure. Just when you thought NFL couldn't take it up a notch, it felt like the NBA, right? Didn't the last week feel like the NBA for the NFL?
It did actually, yeah. The NBA is the greatest thing, like social wise, but the NFL definitely stepped it up this past week, and those moves, man, just have been nuts. I'm definitely tuning in. I'm excited. There's a lot of young players that are gonna take over the game, and it's in good hands. I know we say that about a lot of sports, but the future is bright if it can just be managed right. As long as it doesn't turn into MLB, I think we'll be all right.
100%. And just to bring it back a little bit with the Chargers, you look at them and you got powerhouses being built. You know what I mean? You got Herbert, you got the Eckler still signed there as a running back. They
re-signed Mike Williams too.
Oh my God! So you got some good talented wide receivers. Now you got defense on that end with Bosa. Like, yeah, that's another talented. Like LA if you're in LA and you're you're like a fair weather fan, you're gonna be treated this season because you got two elite really teams to watch.
Yep,
it's gonna be fun.
Super Bowl defending champs.
NFL loves that too. In LA, you got the LA teams, new arena just had the
They
Super
knew what
Bowl.
they were doing. They knew what they
Yeah,
were
man.
doing with that.
That was smart.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll
Dolphins
see
made
what
some
else.
moves. It's good.
Yeah, what
So
did they do real quick?
they signed Chase Edmonds, great pickup. I would
Okay,
love a
yeah.
bigger, yeah, I would love a bigger back, but he's a nice scat back. You know, he kind of does it all. He can receive well, run out to the
Yeah.
catch type guy,
Had
which
him in
is
fantasy last year. When he's healthy,
yeah,
he could do a
he's
lot
on
of
point.
everything. And then Connor took over late, so it didn't give him as many opportunities.
Yep,
Because early on he was getting a lot of, a lot more rushes, a lot more catches, and then Connor, when he was out, just took over, and
he,
they were giving
he
Connor
really did.
they were giving him receptions too in the backfield
Hmm.
and out in the for first downs and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's good,
yeah, I like the
solid.
signing. He's a good back for what Mike McDaniel wants to bring in that scheme.
Yeah,
So especially
and
with
now with
Tua,
Tua have a weapon, you need weapons. If you're gonna see what
yeah,
somebody is, you need to give them some things to
yeah,
work with.
they know he doesn't really have that kind of an arm to throw downfield, even though he's made some throws. They signed Cedric Wilson Jr., so it looks like they're kind of just doing it to have these like quick 5 yard slants, 5 yard outs, 7 yard posts, quick, efficient, short stuff just to move the ball down the field, keep, second and third short,
Yeah,
which as a fan, you got to love that because you hate third and
yeah.
longs. You don't want to, have kick field goals. So
And Tua is
I'm
solid.
excited.
He's accurate with the
Yeah,
football, so he
he
can make
really
those
is.
short throws, and
So,
Edmonds can make nothing out of something. So
yep,
or
they
something out of
re-signed
nothing.
Emmanuel Agba. He had a good season last year. He's big on that D line. So, I mean, th- again, all these moves, man, it's every year they do something like this and you get hyped up, you're on the bus, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, but then they go
Yeah,
out and they're like
of course.
500, so
Yeah,
just got to see what the product is on the field, but they're using their money and I think they still got a few more signings to get up and then we got the draft, so we'll
we'll
see.
see. Yeah, I like your head coach. I seen him on Pat McAfee. I showed you the link, and like he said, everything's fun in games. Everything's all cool because he's 0-0 as a head football coach all time. But once that kickoff goes to start the season, now if he's not winning, things aren't going to be as funny, and he's not as cool and clever as he was
Right.
before. But yeah, you guys got a good situation. I'm excited about the New York Football Giants. That's it for football. If anything pops up randomly, let me know in the meantime. But let's cover some basketball here. We got, Nets got a big win over Philly. Let's shout out your Miami
Huge
Heat
win.
first. Let's shout out your Miami Heat first, beating us last week. Still maintaining first place. It looks like you guys are going to hold that because you got Oladipo back. You're healthy. Real quick, what do you guys? Obviously, you're maintaining first place. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little before we got on. I hope we get that one seed. It's always nice to have that one seed just to have, home court throughout the playoffs.
And you have no
I really,
excuses. You
yeah,
played the best you could
none.
be. Now it's all the pressure's on you to get it done.
Absolutely. I really don't want y'all, the Nets, to get the 8 seed because
Oh, I don't
I
want
don't
that.
want to play. I don't want to play you guys in the first round. If we can avoid you guys, if we can avoid the Bucks and the Sixers until the Eastern Conference Finals, if we get there, that's my crazy Heat fan talking. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Oladipo back. Kyle Lowry's back, healthy. He had his own personal things. We got Morris back. Man, he missed pretty much the whole season after Jokic elbowed him in the back of the neck, whatever
That's
happened with
crazy. I
that.
didn't even know he was still out from that. When they said he was back
Yeah.
from his neck injury, I was like, he was still out for that's I mean, I'm not gonna call him a bitch, but Jesus. Come on, like
Yeah, he missed like
he
50
didn't get
something games.
jumped.
So, right? Yeah.
He
It's
got
like it
pushed.
didn't look all that
Fuck.
bad either, but I mean,
No.
it had to be some lingering stuff. But for them to hold that one seed with, Jimmy playing iffy and Bam was out with the hurt thumb and Bam is just bro, he's really taken his game to another level the past few games. He had like 30 and 17 the other night. So I just hope that, they mesh well. They put all these young guys. They got Gabe Vincent's been playing well. Tyler Hero's 6 man of the year. I don't care what anyone says. You can at me, whatever. He's scoring 30 off the bench. Like I was so right about that young cat. I'm so happy I get to talk that shit. And we got one of the best coaches in the league, Eric Spoelstra. So we got no excuses. No excuses. If we get that one
Yeah.
seed, you can't say, you know, especially bad last year, losing to the Bucks, getting swept. So
Yeah, that's the problem about this year. It's like you love the confidence. You love, oh, we're in first place and we haven't been healthy all year. Well, now you're healthy. Now you got nothing to say. Like, I mean,
Yep.
anything could happen over the next 15 games, but that's where you want to be. You want to be in a position of power. You want to be in a position where the pressure's on you versus, oh, you can make excuses. Oh, we weren't healthy. Oh, this and that. But everybody's got them. I can make the same
Right.
things about the Nets, which they got a
Yeah.
big win against Philly. As it sits now, Miami's in first, Philly's in second. You guys are 2.5 up on both teams. I expect Philly, Milwaukee, and Chicago to kind of be still in that 2, 3, 4, but Boston's creeping up. I expect Cleveland Cavs to fall back a little bit. They've been falling back
Yeah.
because they're a young
They're
team.
not
They
healthy.
overachieved a little bit, and they're not healthy.
Yeah.
So you can only that's why it's 82 games. You know, you could be good up until the 75th game, but those 7 games you have left or 10 games you have left in the season, those could be the dog days.
They really matter.
So right now we're looking like we're in Nets are in the 8th seed playing the Toronto Raptors. If the season ended today, like most pundits like to say,
Right.
which it doesn't end today, but we would be playing in Toronto, 1-game playoff where Kyrie right now cannot play, which leads me to the next thing. Kyrie doesn't play. Well, plays against Philly. We beat them by 30. Great game. I was hyped. Lost my voice. Then we play.
I was hyped too.
Yeah, I think everybody wanted to see the Nets. Even if you're a Nets hater, you still wanted not to see the Philly do that well. And then we played the Knicks yesterday afternoon. Shorthanded. Kyrie's in the stands. Yeah, fucking Fournier. What a bitch. Simmons out. Curry's out with a temporary injury, but then Kyrie, obviously, I love that he sat in the stands. A lot of people, Michael Wilbon and all the other clowns on ESPN said, "Oh, if you show up a politician, you're giving him the opportunity to prolong the law." And if a mayor is prolonging a law because an athlete said, "Hey, you should do something about this," or an athlete showed up to a game and sat in the stands, that mayor should be under investigation because
it's not even about health or anything.
Yeah,
it's just
of course,
about
it's
compliance.
not about safety.
Nah, bro, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. That I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're
just
good.
just the fact that he could sit there in the stands, and it's even worse because he's sitting in the stands and he's closer to the fans. It's not like he's
giving daps
on
and
the court.
everything.
Yeah, it's not like he's on the court where all the other players are vaccinated if they wanted to be. So it's just,
you can make a case that on the court would be safer for everybody than in the stands.
Absolutely. It's just kind of mind blowing to me, bro. Like this stuff is it's ridiculous, bro. Like the visiting players can come in there and play if they're not vaccinated, but he can't. It just goes to show you how dumb and like retarded. I hate using that word, but it's just
I mean,
it
you're not
doesn't make
using it
sense.
towards a person, so it's fine. I hate people that don't like the word. You're not calling another human being retarded.
Yeah,
You're calling
it
a
just
rule. Yeah,
it's just it doesn't make sense, man. And it's gonna hurt the Nets because it not only he's not able to play, but when he does play, you got to switch up. Everyone has to switch up how they play because the games he plays, he's going to start. You're not going to have him come off the bench. So it just ruins the flow. And basketball is poetry in motion. We talk about this all the time. It's a flow. You need the flow, and it makes no sense to me. Like people are like, "Oh, he should just get the vaccine." No, if it's a personal thing. If he doesn't want to get it, he doesn't have to get it. Like, what don't you get about that? Like,
that's the Michael Wilbon he said today, and we'll end it on this because we could go on and on. He was like, he doesn't. If he wants to play, it's easy as getting a shot. He got shots when he was younger because he went to public school. It's like, first of all, this isn't what we got when we were 5 years old. It's a totally different situation. And B, he didn't have the say to get those shots. His parents decided for him. So like you could go on and on about that stupid old man mentality of they think it's as simple as getting a shot or not, where it's like the heroes that they loved, like Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they made tough decisions in their day, and they made things that people hated and scorned. The same way Kyrie's doing now, the same way some of these Kaepernick and all that, where people hate it at the moment, then years go
Michael
by, you go,
Jordan, like Will Bond's a huge Bulls fan. Like I know for a fact he ain't gonna be talking about Michael Jordan that kind of way. Like,
bro, Michael Jordan did all the type of diva stuff. He walked off the court without shaking the Detroit Pistons' hands. What would Michael Wilbon say about a player now if he did that? Exactly. Michael Jordan, when he was
gambling.
Sponsored gambling. He was sponsored by Nike. They had Reebok on the Olympic team. He put the flag over it, wouldn't show like there's little things that Jordan also did as a quote unquote diva or selfish that Michael Wilbon calls Kyrie, because he said he's not a quote today. He said he's not a good teammate.
Yeah.
Not one person has ever come out and said anything close, because it doesn't matter what he says. It's about what his teammates say. Nobody on any team has ever come out and said Kyrie is an okay teammate. Not even that.
Yeah, he's not suiting up with him.
It's all bullshit. You're not in the locker room with these dudes. That's why even our opinions are limited to a fault. But I feel like we're not doing it for clicks, because we're not over here getting quote tweeted and getting clipped highlights on ESPN. So we're just saying what we think and we know is the best of
Michael Wilbon, he's always been a hater. He's always been super, super biased. Like, I don't know what happened with him. I loved him on PTI with Reality, or not Reality. What's his name?
Tony Kornheiser.
Yeah, Kornheiser.
I watch it every day, but this is the first topic that really grinded my gears when he said, because he's doubling, tripling down on it, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because you tune into that kind of stuff and you want to watch these guys because they're accredited, they're journalists, they're at the top of the game, and you want to hear them break down the game. You want to hear them talk about basketball, but they want to go ahead and dissect what KD had to say. Like, by now you should know what KD says isn't. You should take it with a grain of salt, because he just wants to troll. Like, KD is petty. Like, I try to tell people, like, I knew he was going to get off against the Sixers because that's just who he is. Like, he's going to take that kind of shit personal. So I don't know why they, you feed into this kind of stuff, and it's just, I don't want to hear about COVID when I'm watching NBA. Like, talk about basketball.
Ironically, Kendrick Perkins had I think he's dialing himself down to be more reasonable, because I think when he got on ESPN a year or two ago, he had to be that like shock, like take person. And I think so much heat is going on Stephen A and some of the other people that Kendrick is almost taking a step back a little bit, because he said today, he's like, sometimes, he defended KD and Kyrie. He's like, sometimes you got to make a statement for things to change. When universally something doesn't make sense. And I've been in that position as in a workplace, in an office. It's on a smaller level, but it has symmetry where everybody doesn't agree. Management knows they don't agree with it, but they feel like they have to. And then the people listening feel like they just need to say, yes, sir, and then go on. There's got to be someone that makes an example, at least someone that says it, someone gets a conversation going. And then sometimes when that doesn't do it, you got to make an example. And that's what KD did by calling him out. Was he right? Was he 100%? He's emotional. He just got off he just had to drop 53 points on the Knicks on a Sunday
to win by
because
3.
his teammate couldn't play. And the other argument is if he gets a shot or not. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the rule. Yeah, I would be emotional too. Like, I didn't have to score 53 and play 46 minutes today if my teammate would have played. So I get it. And then Kyrie's doing what he wants to do. I love the way he handled it too. He said, hopefully after this, me and Mayor Adams could, break bread and have a meal. Like, he's not taking it any type of way. He's not scorned. So that's what you got to respect about Kyrie. He might do some things that are a little odd or against the grain, but you'll never hear him say some crazy wild shit personally about someone. He'll always take that high road, which you got to respect at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And Perk's been there. He's actually played in the game. He's been in the locker room.
Yeah, out of everybody
teammates,
that's talking.
So he's been on multiple teams. He's played with KD. He's played with the Russell Westbrooks. He's played with the James Hardens. Like, he knows, at least he's coming from experience. It's not like these guys that, they're great. Don't get me wrong. They work like I said, they're accredited. They're at top of their game. They're not bullshitting. They're not me talking bullshit on Twitter. These guys are journalists. But it's still, these guys hooped before. They've been there. You're not
For
just
real.
forming an opinion. So the fact that he was able to say that, and I agree with you, he has really toned it down and calmed down, and he's definitely making a lot more sense now. He's not trying to say Moses Moody. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Perk, and we've talked about this before. It's always tough with athletes to interview them right after. Like
Yeah.
they just played at the top of the level. The NBA is
You
no
want the
joke.
sound bites, and then you want to crush them for it.
Yeah. So, you can't be 50-50 with it. You got to take a stance on it. And I feel like it just sucks because the Nets are having to deal with it. And not only are they dealing with it and losing out, us as fans are losing out because it's not just some like bench player that can't play. It's fucking Kyrie Irving. Like we all lose
For
out.
real.
It's like he's one of the best players to watch. So
Yeah.
I hope it gets fixed ASAP.
Yep. And then you had LeBron James tweeting how he thinks it's dumb. And if you're going to have anybody in any sport say something, Tom Brady and LeBron James are the two people in North American sports. When they speak, everybody listens. So awesome that he, there's not too many tweets I agree with when he speaks, but that was one that I actually liked. And yeah, I want to get it over with. Hopefully this situation goes away because we're all losing out at the end of the day. I'm a Nets fan. I'm obviously losing out more emotionally, but everybody's losing out is watching the game being played at its highest level. That's it for basketball. March Madness is starting. Selection Sunday was yesterday. We're recording this on Monday night. Not too much to talk about that. I don't want to waste time until it gets really into the meat and potatoes of March Madness. Yeah, for real. Because this is probably one of the first years that I couldn't name the top 3 picks. Top 5 picks like in that are going to get drafted or the player of the years nominees. If you put them on the screen right now, I'd be like, oh, I think I seen him one. Oh, he plays for Duke. But like other than that, I don't fucking know. So I don't know if it's parody or that there's nobody really at that level right now. And I'm going to say a mix of both.
Right.
Real quick.
Yeah, no, I haven't tuned into much college basketball.
All right.
I wouldn't bet on college basketball either, on anything, spread, money line, over, under, because that stuff is the most inconsistent thing ever. My Canes got 10th seed. A lot of people are picking them to win their region. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how that will happen, but I like I said, I didn't watch much, so I can't tell you who's going to win. I might not even do a bracket. I'm going to do a bracket just for the shits and giggles, but
yeah,
I'm just going to be picking people picking their first bracket just because of colors or mascots or whatever. 13 always beats the 4th seed. 12
like
always
that.
beats 5 or whatever. Like just based on experience. But I have no clue. I'm on the same boat as you. I can't name five NCAA players right now.
Yeah, it's weird. But maybe we'll do something like we did last year. Maybe we'll throw money into it. We gotta talk on the side, get some people because I don't mind offering off a reward as long as everybody's having fun with it, promoting it, and get as many people as involved. So we'll talk about it off air, and we'll maybe release something this week to get people to fill out their brackets for Enter the Lab. While we're on the subject of sports, before we go into some other side topics and stuff like that, Bet the Fort last week went 2-1?
2-1, yeah, 2-1.
2-1.
Not bad.
Episode 12. I thought you had more picks than just 3.
No, I only had 3. I had 2 NBA and 1 soccer. So I got the same this week: 2 NBA, 1 soccer. That's how I'm going to try and keep it. A lot of good stuff happening in soccer with the
Shout out Real
championship.
Madrid, comeback PSG.
Yep.
We call him
Benzema. That boy Benzema.
Ooh. What did Mo call him the other day? PSG. What did he say? All right, go ahead with the picks and I'll pull up because it was pretty funny.
Yeah, last week, Wednesday night, it was Clippers Warriors. I had Clippers. Clippers, I think, came back. Yeah, Clippers were down, came back and won. They seem to do that against the Wizards both games because they were down 35 the first time they played, came back and won. Reggie Jackson's been playing out of his mind. Shout out him. I had Real Madrid over PSG. Benzema scored a hat trick, carried that team. So
he called them Peace SG. That was dope. I like that. I was like, damn, I should have fucking before I tweeted something out. I wish I would have knew that. They're bummed. So Mbappe will be coming Real Madrid. So we'll get better. So I'm happy about that.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good game. And then I had Nuggets over Warriors on Thursday night. That was the L. That game was freaking crazy game.
Good game
back
though.
And forth. Yeah, really good game. I watched the whole thing. Curry finally took over, did what he had to do. He's been getting double, triple teamed a lot. So yeah, he got off, and then Jokic is crazy. Jokic is
doing everything.
Bro, I don't understand how this guy even
hooping right now.
Yeah, he is. Vito sent out a tweet. I gotta watch it, but just some of the stuff he does on the basketball is crazy. They kind of got tired out, even though they were at home. Playing in Denver is never easy. They were on 6 games in 8 days. That's ridiculous. I don't know how that's even allowed right now. I know it's a long season and stuff, but you got to give these players more time to rest and just figure things out. But this week, good games. NBA, I got 2 picks for NBA and 1 pick for soccer, like I said. Both on Wednesday night. Let me just double check that's true. While I'm doing that, I'll just say the soccer game. That's on Wednesday as well. Arsenal-Liverpool. Both those teams been playing good games, but give me Liverpool. Shout out Mike. Got to get that dub. Premier League, that's going to be fun. And then, Wednesday. Yep, both games Wednesday night. Mavs and Nets. Big game for both teams. Playoff seeding. Just trying to get in the flow of everything. Nets are at home, so no Kyrie, unfortunately. But I'm still taking the Nets. KD's been playing out of his mind. Looks like he's back to, best player in the NBA. It's crazy how he missed all those games and he just picks it up right where he left off.
6 weeks, 7 weeks, and comes back like it's nothing. Immediately played like 35 minutes in his first game like nothing.
Yeah.
Great.
It's insane to me. He's on another level right now, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves just because of how he acts off the basketball court and all the shit he talks. So the other game is Warriors-Celtics. Warriors at home. We talked about it. Celtics have been playing crazy out of their mind. I think they're probably the hottest team in the league the last 20 games or whatever. But give me the Warriors. Clay's kind of getting back into rhythm. Dude, those 2 young rookies they got, Moses Moody and Kuminga. Bro,
right?
I've been watching a lot.
It's crazy. They got 2 top 5 picks back to back. That's crazy.
Yep. And they still got Wiseman, who was hurt. He's been working out, hooping. Draymond comes back tonight. So, give me the Warriors that game. The spread's not out yet, but if they're favorited, they're gonna cover. I'll take that. But I mean, Celtics got a good team too. Jason Tatum.
Yeah. They've hit a great stride. Them losing to the Mavs on KG Day when they retired his number.
I love it.
Oh, I love that they lost too, but that was surprising because with maybe the emotion and the pressure got the best of them, but that was a great game. That came right down to the wire as well. I had that on one of the TVs.
Dinwiddie hit a big shot. Your boy.
My boy. Yeah, man. Good for him. I'll always root for him forever. I got to know him when the team was bad, when they just picked him off waivers, and I'm glad to see him get the bag and playing on a team with some promise, hopefully, instead of being on the bum ass Washington Wizards. Is that it for Bet the Fort? Just send those to me, or like you did. I got to do a post for last week's, and then we'll keep track of that. Before I forget, fantasy basketball just started playoffs this week, so I think I was in the number 2 or 3 seed for the league I'm in. I'm in the first round playoffs. I finished in 3rd place. Pretty big deal, but my team's on a little down. My stock on my team is down. I got a lot of injuries. Players are burning out, but I did want to say this. I run a fantasy baseball league every year. We're in season 6, Escobar season 6 right now. We have usually, right. It's It's crazy that, and we don't
That's
have the
impressive.
same. We don't have the same people coming back, but we have had the same 9 or 10 for the whole 6, and then 1 or 2. So if you're listening to this, we have it to fill at least 1 spot right now, possibly 2. So if you're listening to this and you want to join a very competitive, you win money. We've been doing. We're going to change it up a little bit. DM us just so I can get you in the league. If you're into baseball, if you're you keep track of it. It's a long season, so I understand if you're not. But if you're into baseball, let me know because I run a pretty solid league as a league manager for it.
Yeah.
If you want in, let me know. We have like 8 confirmed right now, 7, and I always don't want to count on the same people coming in over and over. So just want to throw that out there.
I've never participated in your league, but I know people that have, and from what I've heard, you definitely do a good job.
I run a
of it,
tight ship, as they say.
Yep, exactly.
League standings are always up. Usually, Monday morning, unless I'm slacking. Well, now over last year, I was home all the time, so I got them up pretty early. But 2-point system, pretty good. I think I want to do something like FanDuel has got me ideas where I want to do payouts throughout the season, like maybe reward people per month, per matchup, whatever it is. Because baseball is 23 weeks. Sometimes you forget that you even have a fantasy team. So keeping people maybe making $10 here, $15 here throughout the season might, hey, you could win half your money back and not even win anything as far as a championship. And that could be worth it by itself. So we'll see. That's it for sports, basically. Let's go into some quick rundown. We're trying to do a fishing show, try out something new. I've been talking super fast. This is kind of the pace that I like to go. Obviously, Fort makes sense because you do the opposite. We're like peanut butter and jelly, lamb and tuna fish.
Love it.
So let's get into some like a nice little quick rundown. Kanye West, Pete Davidson.
He's back.
That came out.
Back.
Man, he knows how to keep staying trending, huh? I thought that was a fake. I thought that was a fake conversation at first. I had to keep scrolling on Twitter on the trending thing to make sure a lot of accounts had the same exact text, and it turned out to be true. Man's laying in his bed. I mean, Kanye's wilding, in my opinion. He's wilding. Yeah. He's being disrespectful. He's making videos of killing them. So Pete Davidson just clapped back. He's a comedian. I'm surprised he held it in this long.
Yeah, no, me too for sure. And he was kind of cool about it. The worst thing was sending him a selfie saying, "I'm in bed with your wife."
I might fight your wife.
At some point, you have to, bro.
You have to as a man or as a human.
Of course, after all the shit Kanye's been saying and doing and whatnot, you gotta clap back. But he was civil about it. He was like, "Bro, I told SNL to stop making skits about you. I told him to stop, making fun of you. I've been trying to keep it normal with you, but hey, keep going over the top. It's a little extra now." And he was like, I struggle myself with mental stuff. You should go see someone. We're both
in the same boat, bro. You're over here talking about you have issues, you're going through this, but it's been out that Davidson's been, as the same situation. Now you guys are going after. You guys are bullying. You're bullying somebody that you hate to get bullied as well. You're a hypocrite at the end of the day. Kanye, you acting like you're a billionaire and you got all this shit, but you acting like a little bitch. You acting like a hoe.
Yeah, it's
documentary is great, but you're acting like a bitch.
It's sad to say, but at some point, you gotta just tighten up, dude. You can't hide behind you saying you want to be there for your kids and your family and everything, but then you're still doing all these things. You want your kids off of TikTok, but you're on social media acting like a fool. And your kids are seeing this shit, bro. So
he's not in touch with reality, dog. It's really sad. And you know what's funny? He's a microcosm of what parents are. Parents be doing normal parents that don't have mental issues. They be doing the same thing. They act one way and then they look at their kid, be like, "Don't do this." And it's kids are young and naive, but that doesn't make them stupid or not have a memory. So they're gonna remember shit. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's I get it. He doesn't know how to act.
the kids are the ones that are gonna be
Suffer.
affected by most of this. Like
Yeah.
Kim ain't worried about it. Like Kim chilling. You know, she's a billionaire. She got money. Like Pete Davidson not worried about it. Kanye, like he's gonna be Kanye, but like who knows how long or how bad like this shit can affect them in their life. Like I know they don't go to public school or whatever, so they definitely not getting bullied. But like shit, like at some point in their life, they're gonna be like, haha, yo, your dad's crazy. Remember he was wild on Twitter back in 2022? Like, bro, come on. So
yeah. I heard the Breakfast Club because now I'm out and about doing things, so I listen to the radio sometimes. So Breakfast Club, they were DJ Envy was, you know, I haven't listened to them in years, but he said it right. He's like, you're over here talking one way, and then you're showing another way, and you want your kid not to be on TikTok, but they're gonna get talked about just as much by what you're doing and how foolish you're acting, where they probably wouldn't have been talking about it if you just let the girl be. You know,
Yep.
it's a weird situation. We're talking about celebrities here, which I don't give a fuck about, but it's entertainment, and we have a podcast, so I guess it's good to talk about and make fun of because everybody does. So that's what happens when you're a celebrity. You make millions of dollars. People talk about your life. Your life is usually in shambles, and that's what you got to deal with. That's why being a normal person is always better off than being fucking.
Yeah, Kim was getting flamed on social media this past week because of what she said, like talking about you know, female businesswomen and entrepreneurs. She's like, you got to get off your ass and work your ass off and this and this and that. I'm like, bruh, like if you don't shut up, like,
get a real ass first before you talk about getting off ass.
Kim, you didn't become famous because of you working your ass off in that kind of way.
Sloppy gelato.
So, like, you know, you were Paris Hilton's little assistant before anything. Just that's not the right way to go about things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so
it is what
I
it
don't
is.
know, man.
I'm sure by the end, by when we record episode 14, there'll be something else that we could add to
of
it.
Course.
We spend enough time on it as is.
Yeah.
Quick rundown for me, and obviously what I have, and then you could add to it. Tatis Jr. fractured wrist. He's going to be out 3 months for MLB San Diego Padres, which sucks because they said he broke it or fractured it in the offseason. He reported to camp. Obviously, maybe he didn't know about it. He hit it, but he's out. There's so much MLB news that we won't get into this episode, maybe next episode when some NFL dies down. But there's been a lot of trades, a lot of signings. Yankees haven't done shit. So there's a lot of things going on in the baseball world. Hopefully we'll have plenty of time. I do have a guest that I would like to get on from a pretty known podcast regarding baseball that I would like to have on to do like a kind of season opener. Let's see. I have down Rihanna. I feel like every time I'm on social media or anything, she's just rolling around in a random party or a random mall or something with a baby bump, like full out with a bra on. Like your girl's
I love
rolling,
pregnant
bro.
women. I love pregnant women. Shout out pregnant women. I don't mind. Man.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out.
Shout out pregnant women. Like,
I could tell some good funny stories about that, but I know half the people that listen to this. So, but yeah, Rihanna's walling. But hey,
everyone
you only get 9 months to show off your thing, and she looks good. She's selling Fenty.
That pregnancy glow.
Yeah, pregnancy glow. Yeah, that's just a compliment to give people that look like shit. Sometimes compliments, but whatever. Not all of them look like shit. Some of them do though. Like it's like, you don't have a glow. I just can't tell you should look like you shower. But, shout out! I'm rocking Scott Hall Razor Ramon shirt. He got put on life support. He got hip surgery a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, supposedly it didn't go well.
One of those all-time greats that never won a WWE Heavyweight Championship. That for me, when I started not even watching wrestling, my first thoughts of wrestling involved Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Razor Ramon. Those are in the video games back in like 95, 96 when I seen it on TV. Those are the people that I seen, and he suffered like 2 or 3 heart attacks over the last week. Got put on life support yesterday or 2 days ago, and basically he's gonna pass away. They're just waiting for the family side of it. So shout out to the bad guy. Oozing Machismo, my guy Razor Ramon. That's the guy, man. A lot of good memories when I was a kid.
Yeah.
NWO. Everybody knows NWO. If you're not even a wrestling fan, NWO was like the fucking G unit of the early 2000s, late
G
yeah.
Unit.
Everybody, white, black, didn't matter who you were. You knew that. And then the last thing I have is obviously the Batman. Did you see it? We'll
I
cover it
haven't
real
watched
quick.
it now.
Okay, so
I have not seen it.
my rating on it. Me and Vito talked where seen it, loved it overall. It was very good, almost great, but not great in my opinion. There's a lot of criticism that I could have, plugged into as far as the length of the movie was long, but there still could have been things within the movie that could have justified it being long, is what I'm trying to say. Like, so for a 3-hour movie, I didn't mind it, but there could have been moments and times where they could have built a couple characters. What's his name was great as the Penguin. It was Colin Farrell. No, Colin Farrell, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm
I
not
always
sure.
mix him with yeah, it's yeah, Colin Farrell. He played the Penguin. I forgot. I knew going in like months ago, and then when I watched it, somebody mentioned to it after, and I was like, "Oh shit, he was the Penguin. He played it so well." Like I heard they're coming out with like a next Netflix series on him on the Penguin, and they're gonna do something like that. So that's gonna be good.
Hmm.
A lot of things will come out. They're
Gotta
definitely
watch
doing
it.
a they're definitely doing a second Batman. They're definitely doing like some offshoots and stuff like that because there were so many characters in the movie. I won't spoil it for anybody again, but just wanted to touch on it quick because I said I was going to see it last week. Maybe you've seen it. DM me, hit me up. But my overall score was like 7.9, 8.2, in between that range where it was go see it, quality, hit us up. Let me know what you think. I love to talk about movies and visuals and stuff like that. The music was great.
Nice.
It had
Yeah.
Nirvana in it, like that
Okay.
dark vibe. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
dope. That's it for me. What do you got?
I mean, since we're on the topic of movies, I watched The Adam Project the other night.
Oh yeah, I
Ryan
see that
Reynolds,
trending.
yeah, Zoe Saldana. It was good. I liked it.
Say
I mean,
less.
I enjoy anything Ryan Reynolds and Zoe Saldana. You can't go wrong with
Yeah.
either or. So that was good. I enjoyed it. Good movie. Just to have on and kick it. So definitely watch that. And I mean, as far as shout outs, I don't really have much of shout outs, just it's
You can't
crazy,
be
man.
shouting
I
out
know,
everybody. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's crazy though. You said we'll do something like we did last year with the tournament, and like I'm like, damn, we did that last year. Like shit, like we still on, we still doing this shit, even if it's
Yep.
not with Ben and Gravy, but we're still going. And the only shout out I really got is Billionaires Row, as always.
BR.
Our boys, BR boys. So
I got to get myself another bottle at this party I'm going to
I
over the
see,
weekend where I'll see
I seen
Patrick.
Patrick living life as always, doing his thing. So shout out him. And I saw some stuff that they got some NFT stuff coming out. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that, seeing what they're really going to do with it. And if I got, if I got the money and
Hey,
funds and shit, I definitely looking to buying whatever they got cooking up to
shit,
support.
you
So
keep educating yourself, building your shit. Maybe you fucking consult because at the end of the day, just because people got a lot of money and
hmm
you assume that they know a lot because they have money and they threw money, it don't mean that they don't know everything. So they could be
yeah,
looking. You got to keep your
hey,
eyes and
I'm
ears open.
open. I'm always open for it. If they
At
got any
that time,
questions
we'll
that
be
they
signing
need.
contracts before. You know what I
Oh
mean? You
yeah.
first, maybe as a single name, and then as an enterprise. Enter the
Nah.
Lab Incorporated. We're gonna have to put some pen
We
to paper soon enough
we
for
go
some.
together, baby. We a team. We a team. Actually, I just got something that came to mind. Shout out Larissa. That's the homie. I send her the podcast all the time. She gives me good feedback. She keeps it real. So shout out her for always listening and giving me real feedback on what we talk about and not just beating around the bush or saying whatnot. She listens. She likes how we talk about real life shit. How we intertwine things with topics that are actually matter and
Yeah.
don't sugarcoat stuff. We try to keep it real on here and say what people need to hear, not what y'all want to hear. So I appreciate her and She's got good things going for her. She's got a good family, 2 good kids. So shout out her.
That's awesome. And to end, not on a bad note, but on a, what we just talked about. I just put on Instagram, and an hour ago, Scott Hall did pass away. So live
Yeah.
on the episode, while we were recording, he did pass. It was inevitable. And I'll leave it off on this quote because I thought it was perfect. We'll end episode 13 in his memory because he was a legend in his own right. Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Enter the lab, episode 13. Peace.